Hello everyone, welcome back to Cooking with Donna. Today we are making up some good old fried chicken. It's light, tender, crispy. It doesn't have that hard crunch to it. It's a nice, tender, flaky, crispy batter, but it's not real hard like a lot of them can be. But I went ahead and brined my chicken. Got everything started here. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. I wanted to get a head start here. But in my bowl, I have 10 pieces of chicken. I have 5 thighs, 5 legs. Washed it really good. Then I stuck it in a salt brine. A lot of people prefer buttermilk. I like a salt and sugar brine with spices. But in my brine, I have 9 cups of water, 2 tablespoons of seasoned salt, lawrys I like to use, 1 table of creole seasonings, I like the Tony's creole seasoning, 2 tablespoons of sugar, that just balances out your salt, and I have 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of thyme leaves crushed all up in there. And then just get it all dissolved, stir it up and get it dissolved. Add your chicken to this brine and marinate it for a good 7 hours. So if you're gonna have some, marinate it in the morning. That way you have it ready for your dinner. And then I removed it, as you can see. Pat it dry, get it nice and dry. You want to pat it dry, and I done mine, like I said, for 7 hours. Sometimes if you go longer, especially if it's smaller pieces of chicken, it tends to get really salty. So that's why I go 7 hours. 8 hours wouldn't hurt if it's large pieces of chicken, okay? All right, next I'm gonna bring over my flour. And in my flour here, we're gonna season this as well. I have these ready. I have 4.5 teaspoons of baking powder here. This is what helps it get nice and light and crispy. 4.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Now in this bowl, I have all of my seasonings mixed up. I have 1 teaspoon of seasoned salt, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. It doesn't make it hot, the cayenne pepper. Not at all. And 1/2 teaspoon of poultry seasoning. And that's all here. And we're just going to put that all in our flour there. And we'll just mix this up. You want your flour seasoned real good. And get you a nice heavy pot to fry this in, whether it be your Dutch oven, your cast iron, some type of heavy, tall pot. All right. And I got this mixed up. Get all that baking powder in there, worked in those seasonings. Okay, now here I have 3 egg whites, just the whites only. I'm gonna beat these up, maybe 20, 25 seconds, just till they start getting a little bit frothy. All right, and I'm gonna add in 1/2 cup of water. And a few dashes of your choice of hot sauce. Just a few dashes. Maybe a couple of teaspoons. Get that top on there. All right, what I'm gonna do here now, and if I ever forget anything, y'all, I do leave it in the description box with the ingredients you'll be needing. Or if I forget something. Okay, let me get my little, we're gonna dredge our chicken and put it on a cooling rack. And we're gonna let that sit there for a good 8 to 10 minutes. Let it start getting that tacky, gummy feeling to it or look to it. So what we're gonna do here, and let me see if I can get all this in here. I'm gonna do all my legs first, then all my thighs, because they do fry differently. Thighs take a little bit longer than the legs, but if they seem to be all the same size to you, you know, that's your choice. But what I'm gonna do here, I guess I'll start with I'm gonna bring my pot up of my oil. I'm using canola oil. You could use peanut oil, but I'm doing 1.5 quarts of pure canola oil or peanut oil. Do whatever one you want, but make sure you got like I said, a nice tall pot to do that in. And we're gonna bring that up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's go ahead and dredge our chicken, get it ready while our grease is coming up to temp. All right. I don't know if they can see this here. Okay. First, I'm going to dredge this in some flour. And then we're going to go in the egg wash, get all that flour off there. This is just to help the egg wash stick to this and then back into the flour. This helps with the crispiness of your chicken, those egg whites. Get all those egg whites off there. Now what you want to do when you put it back over here, you want to press that chicken. Press it down. Get all that flour and that seasoning worked in there. And meanwhile, as I said, get your oil brought up to temp, 350. You want to make sure every piece of that chicken is coated. So just gently shake that off. As you can see, that's all nice and coated. And we're going to set it on the cooling rack, as I just showed you. And we're going to let that, it's probably about 10 minutes. Each batch you put in, like if you're going to fry all your thighs right now, once you're frying your thighs, go ahead and batter your other 5 up. I have 10 pieces, as I said. So I'm going to do this again, and I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to do all my thighs first, I guess. Shake that off. Dredge that in your egg wash. And I'll just keep repeating. Okay, y'all. I have my oil heated up to 350. Now, it's important for a lot of people. As you can see, I have my thermometer here. It's a candy/fryer thermometer. This will give you your accurate temperature, because a lot of people love fried chicken, but there's so many people that also has tried to make it and they cook it either too hot and their chicken's raw inside. So this is really a great thing to invest in if you're not sure. Just bring it up to 350. Your temperature is going to drop to around 325 to 300, and that's where you want to kind of maintain your temperature is at 300 to 325, because once we get this chicken in here, that temperature is going to drop from 350, but you want to bring it to 350 and then put your chicken in, and then the next batch, make sure you allow your temperature to come back up to 350 again. And if you got to move your little switch there to turn it up and down, it's very important to keep the correct temperature when it comes to frying chicken. Now, if you're a chicken pro, you don't need one of those. But this is just something I wanted to show for the people that have a hard time. They really want to fry, but they don't want to because they had a disaster at one point in time with fried chicken. I think we've all been there, right? But we're going to drop this in. We are at 350. And as you can see, the chicken, how I said it'll get a little bit tacky looking, like sticky, tacky looking. But I'm going in with my chicken. We're going to drop this in. And as I said, this temperature is going to drop. Always drop your chicken in away from you. These are pretty big, so I'm going to try 3 here in this pot here. Now, if you have a deep fryer, fine. Now, a lot of times when people fry chicken, they'll say, don't disturb it. You don't want to mess with that coating, but this chicken is pretty good. It stays adhered to the chicken. But once it starts frying for maybe a minute or so, I'll go ahead and move it and flip it. And I'll keep flipping mine because, you know, sometimes you can get that dark spot. And you eat with your eyes first. I like it all even. So I'll flip mine every couple of minutes just to keep that even browning on it, okay? So I'll flip this over here in another 30 seconds or so. And as I can see here, my oil temperature has dropped to 300. I'm going to keep an eye on that to make sure it stays at 300. 300 to 325. You don't want to drop below 295 or so. That's my opinion. Okay, and just slightly just move it around. This really is some delicious chicken, guys, and I hope you try it. We're going to have some mashed potatoes and gravy and some vegetables with it and some biscuits. Okay, I'm going to flip this over. And like I said, I'll just keep flipping it every couple of minutes. And we're going to fry this. The thighs usually between, it depends on how big they are, but long as your internal temperature is at 165, you're good. But normally with medium-sized thighs, I go between 15 to 18 minutes. The large, 18 to 20 minutes. Long as your temperature is correct. Okay, so I'm going to finish doing this. Okay, I'm just moving my chicken around. I just wanted to give you guys a glimpse at it. Can you see that there? How nice and golden that's looking. I don't know if y'all can see that. I got maybe 5 minutes left on my fry here with my thighs, and then I'll get my other ones in, and I still got one more thigh to fry, so we're getting there, y'all. Okay, I'm taking this out, guys. The first batch here. Doesn't that look beautiful? Okay. Okay, friends, there's the fried chicken. My legs fried for 13 minutes and my thighs fried for 16 minutes. Now, if you have bigger thighs, it may take you up to 20 minutes. It just depends, like I said. Long as it's 165, you know, check it. If you can't check it, at least open it up before you serve it to anybody. Don't want anybody getting sick. You know, all you chicken experts know, but there's so many of them that are so eagerly to learn. So this is for the ones that want to learn. And it's delicious fried chicken. And Curtis is going to try it with some of this Mike's Hot Honey. This is not a sponsor, nothing like that. It's just something we like to have with our fried chicken. You guys want to try this? Give it a try. It is awesome with fried chicken. So go ahead, Curtis, get a bite with them.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Let him hear that nice crunch. And it's a light, crispy crunch, guys. Like I said, it's not hard. Get a good bite of that, Curtis.
Holy cow.
Is that good?
That's really good.
Awesome.
Holy.
Go ahead and look at that chicken, guys. Fully cooked, nice and juicy. Look at that juice. And by brining it, that's how you get that tender, juicy chicken. You hear that crunch? Give it another crunch, Curtis. And it's a light crunch. Delicious. Okay, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We're going to have some dinner. And please like and subscribe as always. I so appreciate it, you guys. And we will see you guys next week. And go look at my merch, guys. make you up some fried chicken. You guys stay blessed. Bye-bye.